Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Blueprint Podcast, all under the Blueprint banner, which is us trying to help people be better at marketing. We've got live events, we've got online seminars, and we've got this brand new podcast. My name's Gary. I'm going to be your host for today, and we are joined by Jason from Defiant. Jason, how are you?
I am really good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Actually, thanks for coming along and spending the next 25, 30 minutes talking about getting people better at marketing. So we're going to be talking about e-commerce. Mm-hmm. I know absolutely nothing about e-commerce, although I have clients. We're an agency. We wing it. Jokes.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So tell me, before we crack on, tell me who are Defiant? What do you do? How do you do it?
So we are strategic growth specialists. We help merchants dig into their data so that they can leverage it for growth.
So, and you're like for exclusively e-commerce, right?
Exclusively e-commerce, yeah.
Okay, cool. And when we say e-commerce, just for the people at home, what do we mean? I know,
yeah,
but explain to me what e-commerce or how you can help e-commerce businesses.
So really, we're talking about people selling online. Mm-hmm. So that might be via their own store. They might have their own like Shopify store or Magento or like WooCommerce, but let's not go there.
Yeah.
They might be selling on Amazon. They might be selling like eBay, Etsy.
Okay,
any of these
cool.
things.
So we're talking about platforms that are already established, as well as your own website with a Shopify, Magento and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
So ultimately, wherever you're selling, you are taking people's money, you're taking a transaction.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, you're getting a ton of data and you're wanting to engage with them to sell more.
Okay, cool. Let's start there then, right? The data, because this is the boring stuff, right? But I think people overlook it, you know, and it's actually really important. So when we say the data, are we talking about demographics of people, or are we talking about how long they linger on a page kind of stuff?
Anything and everything. So because it's online, we have all of that data.
Right.
And I think this is half the problem that people find when it comes to looking through their data and leveraging it.
Sure.
Because there's just so much.
Yeah. And they'd much rather focus on their core business of selling products, whether it's a service or a moisturizer or whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
What they want to do is see the dollar figures go up and their products go out the door. They don't want to be sifting through an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's actually super valuable, right?
It's super valuable.
And that's the biggest challenge probably for e-commerce clients, merchants, that they don't look at the data.
Exactly. And we've touched on like how much there is, but we're looking at everything from like time on site, what pages they're looking at, what products they're looking at, how long they're spending looking at those things, what they're interacting with on page. But then we're looking at who they are, where they're from. Have we seen that customer before? What do we know about them? What are their interests? We're just gathering all of that sort of data so that we can start to personalize it. Like I talk a lot about it being like a personal shopper if you went to a bricks and mortar store.
Right.
So when you come into a shop, if I've seen you before, you're going to hope that I remember your name. Yeah. And I'm going to say, hey, Gary, how's it going?
That would be great, right?
As a start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a retail store, that's actually very difficult to do, right?
Yeah, it is,
hey, Gary, I saw you looked at this other product the other day. Maybe you would like this one too. In a retail store, holy moly, I would absolutely go there all the time, you know? But I think what you're about to say is from an e-commerce platform, that's super easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's tech that handles all of it for you and you don't have to do any of the thinking. But you have to know which like data points you want to feed it to start doing that. So I might want it to remember that you looked at certain products. I might want it to remember that you bought certain products.
Sure.
I want to know when you bought them as well, because let's say you bought some coffee.
Yeah.
I want to know when you're going to run out, because I want to know a week before you run out so that I can suggest that you buy some more.
So let's dig on that then. So are we saying you guess, no, and it's an educated guess through data, that I might be running out of coffee soon because you think I might drink 2 cups a day? Or do you look at previous buying patterns and then go, okay, cool, you know, he's bought 1 bag of coffee every month, therefore then in 3 weeks' time, he's going to be running out soon?
Yeah, so both. So
all of the above.
On your first purchase, I don't know your consumption rate. I don't know whether you're going to have like 1 coffee a day or if it's just you,
right?
Or if it's you and everybody else in the office, like if you're using it here or at home. So I have no idea at that point. But what I can do is I can look at the aggregated data from everybody else who's bought and say, this is what the typical person looks like. Then when you come back and order again, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm starting to get a picture on what you look like as a consumer.
So do you think, and what's the challenge there then? Because they might only buy once, but you need to bring them back in to get a second purchase to then really start to paint a picture. Because you're right, I buy coffee for the office through Nespresso. Other coffees available, or sponsor us, Nespresso. I buy coffee for the office. I buy like 300 capsules, every couple of months. But they don't know I'm buying for the office, or do they? Do they look and they go, "Oh, this is a business address," and they judge it? Is it that kind of stuff?
You probably don't start to get that. I mean, you could if you went in and really wanted to chew through your data, you could probably take some.
If you're investing a lot of cash on big data analysts in your staff, then maybe.
But like most merchants, they don't really care.
Right.
They don't care whether you're buying it for like personal consumption.
Should they?
Or when you get big, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, then go for it. But just for like smaller merchants, and I'm putting up to like 10 million in revenue as small.
Okay, cool.
And it doesn't really matter. All they know is I need to hit that person up again to say, hey, I think you're going to be running out because you're running through 300 capsules real fast.
I reckon.
You're like me, like you're a coffee addict and you got a small child, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the coffee consumption.
There's a definite correlation between age of child and amount of coffee. Okay, cool. So like I said, what's the challenges? They obviously don't, when they do go to look at the data, let's say they've gone, right, here's a big dashboard of all of the data. What's the next step? If someone isn't doing this, let's say they're a small brand, apparel brand, whatever, what are the challenges they're facing when they first open all this data? How can they start to interpret it? What's the first step?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge people have is all the bullshit numbers. Right. Like lots of people will quote return on ad spend or a conversion rate.
Oh yeah, these are classic buzzwords I hear all the time.
All the time. None of those take into account profit, which is the only important number in all of this.
Yes.
So you can be spending a fortune on ads on Facebook and Instagram and all these things, but if you're not making any profit, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, knowing which ones to look at and make sure profit is always in that equation.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And then
that's actually quite a good thing to think about. You're right. Obviously it's about profit, but no one really says, when we give our reports, for example, some of the businesses and brands, it's difficult to portray what an ROI is on what an Instagram post. But I think when you're at e-commerce and you can report on all this kind of stuff, it's tough to, what should be done is, yes, there is X amount of profit. And if this one's giving 20% margin versus 5% margin, we need to focus on the 20% stuff. Or do you fine tune and get the 5% margin products more?
So my approach would always be like go after the big numbers first.
Double down on the big numbers.
Exactly. We can clean up all the 1% later.
Yeah.
But let's get you to a place where you're actually profitable because so many aren't.
Yeah.
And the problem you have is it's expensive to acquire customers.
Sure.
Right? It's got way more expensive over time. You used to be able to just chuck a ton of money at Facebook.
Yeah.
And you would make tenfold.
Yeah. And you would directly correlate that to sales, right? You would go, I spent 10 grand on ads, I made 50 grand in sales. So therefore, if I spend 20 grand on ads, it's 100 grand in sales.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's gone.
Yeah.
Like Apple screwed that for everybody.
Thanks.
It's coming again.
Yeah.
Like there's another one coming.
Cool.
But so it's super expensive to get customers. So loads of brands aren't even profitable on that first purchase. They'll make a loss.
Sure.
On selling something to you for the first time. So it's even more important than ever to make sure that you can try and retain as many of those people as possible and get them coming back.
So it's about retention is the goal, right? Retention and profit.
Yeah.
Because you want them return business.
Yeah.
And so how do you do that then? Obviously you're looking at the data. How do you retain customers as an e-commerce site using data?
Email is the vehicle.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like email and SMS.
Yeah.
right? Because everybody's carrying their phone in their pocket all the time. So if you can hit them with like timely reminders, start to build a brand. So not just be transactional. Like I think traditionally loads of businesses have looked at consumers as a number.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. We've got this many sales and this many people. Well, let's start to personalize that a little bit. Let's break that down.
And you don't mean personalize as in first name, insert first name kind of stuff?
No, that's like table stakes, right? If you're not doing that, you're in the shit.
Yeah, that's right. But what you mean is personalize the journey that the consumer is on through your email marketing. Yeah. And you're right. It's not about, or the people that are doing it really well, for example, Adidas, their email newsletters, quote unquote, are really good because it's very rarely, hey, buy this or hey, 20% off. It's more, we've got this collab going on with this pop star or whatever. There's a obviously Adidas are massive, but that's a culture you're trying to portray rather than a transaction environment.
Exactly. I mean, look, this is why they're investing in rappers and things like that, not just sports stars, because they're trying to tap into a culture. Yeah. And you have to do the same. No matter how big or small your brand is, you've got to do the same. You've got to build a community. Yeah. And that's really where the value lies. Sure. In 2023 and beyond. And
can you see that community through data? How do you see that? Because what I want the listeners to do is go, oh, okay, I'm going to open up my dashboard or I'm going to speak to you guys at Defiant and go, right, how do I translate this data into community management? God, that's a massive question there, right? It's about to give away all these secrets.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like, this is really expensive. People pay a lot of money for this. I think leveraging things like loyalty programs, membership is a big one, right? Because whilst loyalty programs are great, you have to earn those rewards. Membership shortcuts that. I pay you £10 a month, £20 a month, whatever that is. Yeah. And I get access to free shipping and exclusive content and new product drops and all of these things.
ASOS, next day delivery, costs you £10 a month, £10 a year, whatever it is. Yeah. And then I think it's also about relaying what you get as well. I think a lot of people forget is you tell someone what they've got, tell them they've got it, and then tell them they've just had it. Something along those lines anyway. Yeah. So, it's like at the end of the year, ASOS will send you an email saying, oh, you've saved 150 quid on next day deliveries because you only spent £10. Yeah. So it's like, oh, sweet.
I mean, look at that. Look at my social feeds. Yeah. When Spotify drop like what you've been listening to for the year and whatever else is just full of what everybody else has been listening to.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh God.
So there's tons of value in it.
Yeah. Do you think, you mentioned about, Facebook ads, etc., are, not as valuable as they used to, or not like a direct ROI. Mm-hmm. Is there still value in having that pixel, which I think they're going to change soon anyway, right? But do you think there is that retargeting side that's still quite important to kind of keep that brand alive? Because they say, oh, someone's not going to buy from a brand unless they've seen the touch point like 18 times or something stupid like that. Yeah. Which is what I feel TikTok are all over. Right, I accidentally watch more than 5 seconds of an air fryer, and then all of a sudden, every day I've got 5 air fryer ads.
Can we talk about air fryers for a second?
Yes, we can.
Do you have an air fryer?
We have one in the office and I've got one at home. So, I saw it 15 times and I bought 2. Yeah, but honestly, the TikTok are very quick. They're retargeting. You can watch one video for 5 seconds. Bosh, the next 10 videos are about that same thing. Yeah. They're retargeting so quick, and I think that's why they're so successful. I digress.
No, but I think there's tons of value in it still, just not as much as there was. And also you don't have the clarity on the data.
Right. So on their data.
Yes. Right. So you're not able to see directly attributable revenue as much as you used to.
Oh, that's right. Because you could kind of go all the way to the checkout almost, and Facebook would track that.
Oh yeah, you know who it was. It was creepy.
Yeah, and also like you could target your ads to someone who spent £300 in the last 30 days, kind of demographic. So that's highly engaged online spenders, and that's where you target your ads to, right? Yeah. So you think there's still value in attributing Facebook to your big data kind of strategy?
Oh, massively. Yeah.
I say Facebook, I mean social in general.
Yeah, I think you just have to do a lot more work your side now than you used to. Right. Facebook used to take care of it all, and they used to deal with it. And that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just chuck money at it and go to bed and you wake up in the morning with a ton more in your bank account.
Yeah.
You
see all those get rich quick guys on TikTok. Yeah, man, if you're not earning money when you're sleeping, what are you even doing? It's like, no, come on. Don't lie to me. Yeah.
No, exactly. But so now you have to do the work, your side as the brand, and say, okay, what are the things that are important to us? How do we create our community? How do we leverage that community?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get really smart about what we do?
Yeah.
And that is being engaged, that is creating personalized content, and using technology in a really thoughtful way.
Sure.
Because you can just chuck tech at everything, but if you're not using it kind of mindfully, then there's no point in doing that either.
Yeah, sure. So what would you say is, the first kind of step towards understanding data? Because you're right, there's the merchants or the people with the store that, their core business is selling products, right? Mm-hmm. What should they be looking at? Obviously, they should be looking at a partner to help with all of this.
Obviously.
But how can they better themselves? Yes, it's about understanding, telling a story and painting the right picture, but they're also kind of like must-haves. You can't not do that.
Yeah.
But what's the extra stuff that they don't know about that you think, okay, cool. Now we're humming, right? Now we're selling products.
Yeah. I think the thing that I always do, like first up with any of my clients, is I look at their customer database and I start segmenting it.
Right.
So we can do like broad segments saying, okay, let's target people who've bought in the last 30 days or people who have spent more than £100 or $100 or whatever. Yeah. But then we can start to cut that other way. So we can say, okay, are there specific demographics that are operating within those verticals?
Right.
So is it men? Is it women?
Is it boomers? Is it Gen X? Yeah.
Are they in a certain location?
Are they using their mobile phone?
Exactly. All of these things you can start to do. And then you can say, okay, we want to go really deep. We want to look at people who have bought like our hero product first. Then what did they buy? Then what did they buy?
Right.
And you can start to get really deep and understand their buying patterns and say, okay, our best customers usually follow product A by product B by product C.
Yeah.
And then, so we can focus a ton of effort on those people, going after the one where you're going to make 20% rather than 5%.
Yeah.
And then you can cut all your effort and spend and everything else on the ones who come in and buy once.
Yeah.
Because they're maybe buying a product that is crap.
Yeah.
Like maybe you should just get rid of
product. Absolutely. And then if you're plugging email into this, the comms part of it, I assume then the comms need to really mirror what that demographic is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the more you can become personable in those emails and personalized, the better it's going to be. But you can set up automations so you can have it running through a flow.
Yeah.
And then based on people's behaviors, you can split them.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've sent you an email. You haven't interacted with it. So I'm going to send you another email that maybe has some slightly different content in.
Yeah. Different subject title, whatever
exactly.
it might be. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've hooked you with that one. You've come on, you've clicked on this product, but you didn't buy it. Okay, cool. You've now got a conditional split, like in your emails, where I say, okay, don't send Gary any of those things anymore. Send him these things.
He doesn't engage.
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha. Wow. I mean, it's amazing when you think some stores out there probably just have one newsletter that they just send out on a monthly basis, right? But actually, you need to have a complete journey per consumer bracket, let's say, and a flow to go, well, I'm taking you on this way. And so that whole yes-no diagram, right? You got to keep going all the way down. Top tips, all right? Give me two bangers that all these guys, all three of our listeners can go away and start actioning right now for e-commerce.
The first one, I guess, is like, don't be scared of your data. Like
data is very scary.
It's very scary. And there's a mountain of it, an absolute mountain of it, but ignore loads of the crap. Like it's like gold mining, right? You have to sift through so much dirt to find the gold. Yeah. It's the same with this, but focus on the area where you think there's going to be most gold. And those areas are your customer data. Yeah. So people who have actually bought from you before, because you can use that for retention. Yeah. Like, so email those
the big why, right? Yeah. Why did they buy?
Exactly. And then you can use that same data for your acquisition strategy.
Right.
So whether that be like SEO or Facebook or any of those things, you can use all of that data to help acquire more people like that. So number one is like customer data. That's where you want to go and look. And then really it's about asking your consumers. So you can put surveys on site. You can like after they've purchased, just send them an email and say like, can you tell us what you thought, or are there things that we could improve? Because ultimately then you're just looking for friction points. Yeah. Like what are the things that customer overcame to buy your product?
What's the click to purchase rate, right? Yeah. That kind of stuff.
So go in there and just ask them.
Yeah.
Like the customers hold all the answers. Yeah. And not everybody's your customer. Yeah. Right.
And you're not going to get the answers unless you ask, right? It's just like the real world. Yeah. Just actually go out and ask them, And if you, like I said, you've got a database of 1,000 people, send the survey out, 10 people might come back, but at least you've got 10 answers there to try and smooth out 10 more purchases. Yeah. And that's everything you need, right? Jason from Defiant, how do people get in touch? How do they get hold of you? What's the web address?
So you can find us on wearedefiant.io. You can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn.
Cool. Good.
And then that's pretty much it, actually.
Cool, man. Definitely hit up Jason from Defiant. My name's Gary. This has been a Blueprint podcast. We are here to help people be better at marketing. We've got loads more episodes up our sleeves, so don't forget to like and subscribe. You can get your podcasts from wherever you get your podcast injection from. We even do YouTube as well, so don't forget to hit that like and press that bell. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.